Not adequate. Good afternoon. Bit convincing. Anyways, my topic is about to understand or make you understand who is an expert. I'm going to answer one of the most critical questions or the most critical situation before the court as to who is an expert. Because while you have been now into the course of forensic science right now, alright. While you are studying your courses on BSc and MSc Forensic Science, the question arises if you are going to be an expert in different domains of forensics. So how many of you think by completing MSc Forensic Science you can be an expert in the field of different domains? Can you be an expert in all the domains? No? Why? You are studying the different papers in MSc Forensic Science. Alright. So in spite of that, if you think you are not going to be called an expert, probably this discussion is very much required for every one of us to understand what makes an expert or what are those essentials which is required for being in a case and to be a forensic expert. So this is what my topic is going to be. Are going to discuss about what are the qualifications. First, let us understand what is forensics all about. I know every one of you would have referred to the textbooks. If I ask you, it's a wrong question to ask in a forensic forum as to what is a forensic or what is forensic science. But I want to give you a different prospect of what forensic science is all about. So the term forensics can be defined as yes. Number 4 and number 6. Numeric 4, numeric 6 makes it as 4 and 6. Numeric 4, numeric 6 makes it as 4 and 6. What is the result you are getting it over there? In binary system, 1 is always given as a truth value, 0 is always given as a false value. Correct? The ultimate scope of forensics is to ascertain if the given claim is true or given claim is false. The claim could be anything. It could be any category of sample with any given question. If this fingerprint belongs to the same person, is it yes? Is it no? Is a blood sample belong to the same person? Yes or no? Is it a blood sample? Yes or no? Does this image exist in the in the mobile phone? Yes or no? So the ultimate scope of forensics is to ascertain if the given claim is truth or false. And who will bring the claim? In any investigation, who will bring the claim? No. Forensic experts answer to the question, but who will bring the question? The investigation officer. He goes to the scene of crime or any such case situation, he collects a sample, he submits to the forensic expert, asking him to do the examination and to answer if it is this or if it is that. That is the claim to be given by the investigation officer. While we need to understand who is an expert, I would like to give you the question. Whom do you think is an expert? What should be his qualifications? What should be his educational qualification, expertise? What do you think? Whom do you think is an expert? Let's forget about the forensic science for the time being. If in case I had to ask anybody here, are there any expert singers here? The one who sings, expert dancers? Huh? Yes, please, let me talk to you for a moment. Get up, please. Fine. What makes you an expert? What expert are you? Singing. What makes you an expert? Expert singer. Can you please come over? Come over. It's okay, it's okay. I'll take her help on the podium itself. Alright. We both need to share the mic. Okay. Can you tell to the audience what makes you an expert singer?
Because I know the basics of singing and each and every point of that basics.
What is your qualification to be a singer?
It's an experience, sir.
That means you hold no academic degree or a proper training to be a singer?
We will have an academic training also, sir. There is also certificates.
Do you have it?
I have written 3 levels, sir. There are more 4 levels to achieve.
In spite of 4 levels being pending, do you consider yourself as an expert?
Maybe.
Wait.
Depending on my experience, I have performed many performances, so I feel like I am an expert.
Thank you. Now, the question is towards the audience. With the conversation we had, how many of you would call this person, see, I am not taking personally, I am just taking her as an example to make you all to understand this concept here. Alright. Madam, no personal things. Okay. How many of you understand that she is an expert? Raise your hands. People know that you sing, madam? Your friends know that you sing? Have you listened to her song?
Yes, sir.
Not many of you. But anyways, how many of you know that she is a good singer? Raise your hands. Thank you. Fine. Let's understand this. She claims that there are different courses, different stages of learning the music. While few certifications are pending, she is still able to perform. Even if she doesn't call herself an expert, people call her a good singer. Correct? So, the question is that, what is it requires to be an expert? For the singing, we just answered it. Okay? But what is actually required to be an expert? I just said, irrespective of any domain for that matter, what makes you an expert?
Dedication towards the domain.
Dedication towards the domain. Is it adequate and sufficient? What's next? Passion. Next. Hard work. Next. Lot of practice. Probably if I combine all these things, you're trying to call a beggar I am expert. A beggar has a lot of dedication, commitment, hard work. Isn't it? He is so committed, he keeps begging every day. He does a lot of hard work. Be it be raining, be it be sunny, whatever, he still keeps begging. Commitment 100% for begging. Isn't it? But is he an expert? Fine. Similar thing. 20 years, a person is practicing as a compounder. Who is a compounder? Attender in a doctor's clinic. Correct? Fine. So 20 years of experience. And even if doctor is not there, any patient comes with some kind of fever or whatever, this compounder knows what medicine the doctor will give. Can he be a doctor? If he is a compounder, 20 years experience, complete dedication. Why can't you call him as an expert? You don't have degree or qualification. Let's assume. He doesn't have practical knowledge, he doesn't have a degree. Okay, fine. A doctor, one of your family member, becomes a doctor one fine day. On the day of graduation, somebody says, oh my God, I'm going to give you my space. You open your hospital over there. Immediate next day, you have some trouble. Okay, do you wish to go to the same doctor? Yesterday himself he got qualified. Isn't it? He is a doctor, he has got a certificate. Do you go and take a treatment from this person? Why? No experience? Which means, if a person has only the experience, he is also an expert. A person who just has a qualification, even he is not the expert. Probably it requires both the things simultaneously. First is that he must be first qualified, then with suitable experience, which makes him an expert. Correct. But there is a question between arts and science. Because whatever you mentioned, the 20 years experience, that's a skill developed because of over a period of time. But what is science? Maybe a degree, academic degree, because he demonstrated some of his techniques, expertise, to which academic course would have given the certificate. What is important in this aspect? Skill is important or the science is important? Both are equally important. Let me just ask you, what is arts, what is science? Art comes from skill. Science comes from technology. Which means, on the day one, if you can perform an experiment, you can be an expert. On the day one, if you can perform an experiment, you can be an expert. People were showing about drug testing and sample testing in the poster presentations over there. Okay, with what are the techniques you discussed in your poster presentation, when I give you a sample, if you conduct that particular test, get a result out of it, you are an expert. On the day one. Good. In the forensic examination, there is a flavor of both science and arts. What is science? Is something which you are asked to perform, the methods, how you adopt, the kind of experiment you do, the result what you obtain, all these things are science. But there is a skill also which is involved in this. What is it? The way you present it. All of us have watched the movie Bahubali. Who has not watched the Bahubali movie? Let me know. Okay. 1 in crores we will have who will not watch Bahubali. Anyways, thank you very much. Can someone tell me what is the movie outline? What is the movie outcome of Bahubali? What is the story of Bahubali? One Kattappa, one Bahubali, one hero, then there ends the battle. But to only understand this much, did you spend 3 hours in watching a movie? After 3 hours of movie, is this what you understood? This much only? If you would have got some of your friends, you go and ask your friend, what is the movie all about Bahubali? They will tell you in 5 minutes. Okay? So they will make you understand this is the story all about. and there could be also some of your friends. They would take around 20 minutes, 30 minutes to brief you that story. There could also be such friends who would take 6 hours to brief you a 3 hours movie. But everybody has watched the same movie. The way you interpret, the way you present something is a skill, is an art. Except for that, every other aspect what we do is based on science or scientific experiments. This is the first understanding, and with this understanding, we know how to understand who is an expert. Because the qualification and the expertise, both are different, which we have convinced and we have understood so far. So you cannot just go to the jungle when the tiger attacks you. You can't show, hey, looks tiger, I've got a gun shooting license. Isn't it? You should know how to take a weapon and shoot it. But to make that shooting illegal, you should have a gun license before that. Correct? Both are important. In some situations, shooting is important. But in some situations, shooting with a license is important. But the forensic profession is such, it requires both proper qualification and suitable experience and exposure. This is what is basically required for anyone to be an expert. When we are discussing so much technically who is an expert, there are few provisions in our legal books which talks about the experts. Because when we understand the forensics as that branch of science which deals with the legal process of the investigation, here we are discussing about the term legal or the law. What are the legal provisions which talks about the experts? If that is a question, there are only 3 important sections. I mean 2 important sections under the Indian Evidence Act, which is section 45 and 45A. 45 talks about any person who is skilled in a foreign science or a foreign art. It's not forensic science or forensic arts. It's foreign science or foreign arts. This person is an expert. What is foreign science, foreign arts, dear participants? What is foreign science? What is foreign? How many of you want to go to foreign? Come on, every one of you. Andhra culture is very strong to focus on going abroad. Right? So you want to go to foreign. What is foreign? Something which is not native. Something which doesn't belong to the local region. But when we discuss about foreign science or foreign art, when the Evidence Act was enacted in 1872, we are still following the principles laid down by the British, and that is in 1872, when this was said to be a foreign science or a foreign art. On those days, there was no university or college like this, which used to teach full-time document examination, fingerprints or any such forensic domains. For that reason, as on that day, it was a foreign science or a foreign art. That's why the section 45 of Indian Evidence Act says, any person who is skilled in a foreign science or a foreign art is an expert. This is the legal definition of who is a forensic expert. But forensic is the abstract here. What is forensic in this particular section 45 is only for the handwriting and fingerprint experts. But for every other section of forensic experts, be it be chemical examiners or digital examiners, there has been different provisions. For the purpose of triple E, Examiner of Electronic Evidences. This is as per Information Technology Act 2000. Under section 79A, there is a provision as to who can be called a triple E. Triple E mentions to Examiner of Electronic Evidence. That means a digital forensic expert. That's what they literally mean. And this is what is mentioned under 79A of Information Technology Act. Another section which discusses about the expert. Apart from this, there is one more section which talks about section 293 CRPC, Criminal Procedure Code. This 293 CRPC refers to the government forensic experts. When we say government forensic experts, be it be the medical examiner, be it be the fingerprint examiner, be it be the chemical examiner, doctors, whoever are there, and there is a big list under this section 293 CRPC as to who all can give any document as a report, and that report can be considered as a evidence before the court. This is very this provision I want to recreate on the screen. That you can see that the court has to form an opinion on a foreign law or foreign science or art. Look at this. This is the provision meant for government forensic experts. Okay? They mention upon a point of foreign law or of foreign science or foreign art, that is to be understood, or has to identify of handwriting, or this is section 45. Anyways, I just discussed about who is an expert. Let me discuss about section 293 CRPC. Yes. Section 293 CRPC refers to the any document purporting to be a report under the hand of a government scientific expert to whom this section applies. Upon any matter of thing duly submitted for examination or analysis and report in the course of any proceeding under this code may be used as evidence. It doesn't say it shall be used as evidence. Even though a government examiner will give his report, it is the option to the court. It may be considered as evidence is what this provision says. Let us understand one important case law. This is a very important case study where every forensic science student and every law student should always remember this case, because it's a very infamous case. I don't call it as a famous, it's an infamous case. The story goes like this. A security guard teases a girl who stays in the apartment. The girl complains to her father, "Papa, he is teasing me every day." So his father complains to security officer saying that, "Hey, your security guard is teasing my daughter, so please take necessary action." This security guard was said to be transferred to some other apartment. This was during 1990s. This is not a recent case, this is 1990s case. Fine, the next day the same security guard reports to the same apartment, and the girl comes back from the college after her exam. After 2 o'clock she eats her food, she goes for sleeping. Every Thursday the mother had a very predictable schedule where she goes to some nearest temple. Thursdays, people go for Baba temple and nearest temple. This lady goes out for the temple and she comes back in 15 minutes. That's how close the temple is. When the lady goes out, the security guard goes to the first floor. When he goes to the first floor, the security officer comes to the premises and he says, he realizes, oh my God, this guard is still reported here only, because in those days, mobile phone was not there. This is in the 1990s. So he calls the security guard, "Hey, what you're doing, come down." He comes down, he doesn't speak anything, he just runs away to his home, and when the mother comes back, the door is locked. She's not opening the door from inside. People get panicked, people call for doctor, people break open the door. By the time doctor comes over there, the girl is lying in the pool of blood. Doctor declares the girl dead. Now tell me, who is the murderer? Who is the murderer in this case? This was a case of rape and murder, not just murder. This was a case of rape and murder. Who could be the murderer in this case? Yes? Huh? Security officer? No, he just came. He was not there at all. Next. No, he was not there. Then? CCTV not available, yes. Anybody can go, anybody can come. But this guard was along with another guard till the time this Dhananjay Chatterjee, who is the main accused in this case, went to the first floor. First floor is where the girl's residence is. Who is the murderer? Obviously, everybody thinks the same security guard. Correct? But this was one such case where the assistant chemical examiner of the state of West Bengal writes his report saying that the semen was present on the girl's pubic hair. This was a case of rape and murder. So in the sexual assault cases, so the semen was present and he examined the semen and he reported saying that the semen does not belong to the accused. But in spite of that, this case was a case of hanging. This Dhananjay Chatterjee was hanged to death for the rape and murder of this girl. In spite of there being a forensic opinion stating that the semen does not belong to this guy. Now tell me, that's why I mentioned it's an infamous case. For this reason, section 293 CRPC refers the court may consider the opinions of the forensic experts as a evidence. It's not 100% or compulsory that whatever the report you give, court has to simply believe in it. It may or may not. I can try. It also means I cannot try. Right? So just like that, it may consider also means it may not consider. That is what the court looks at the cases when the forensic reports are giving the opinion, even if it is a government opinion. Under 293 CRPC, the courts may. Coming to the next part of our discussion, the role of forensics in our legal system is not expressed, it is implied. It is not mentioned what does the forensic reports does in our cases. You don't get in the written literature. But if you understand the overall approach of the forensics and the investigation, it implies there need to be a scientific investigation. Who conducts scientific investigation? We know it is forensic experts who does it. But this kind of written text in our entire legal books is not mentioned. So for all these reasons, the question is always significant that who is to be considered as an expert. If a person is to be working in a domain of document examination, what should be his qualification? What should be the qualification of a fingerprint examiner at least? Master degree in fingerprint? Which university offers master's degree in fingerprinting? Are you aware of anything? If not that, there are many fingerprint experts working in different FSLs, isn't it? So what is the qualification? That's why we discussed about section 45. A person who is not even having a degree or a diploma can be considered as an expert if he possesses a foreign science or a foreign skill. That's what the qualification criteria which refers over there. There is a big question about who is an expert as far as his educational qualifications are concerned. The law is silent. But for few practices, for a doctor to practice as a doctor, what should be his qualification? MBBS or a BDS, all these flavors of doctors. If in case anybody want to practice as a toxicologist, he must be having some science, chemistry, biologist, science. And for a child accountant, the Institute of Child Accountants, the auditors I am referring to, they are the experts, they have the prescribed qualification. For an advocate, what is the qualification? LLB, the court recognizes him with the bar council practice. For a forensic expert, there is no such regulatory authority. We don't have Forensic Council of India. We don't have Institute for Forensic Experts. We don't have anything like this. So for this reason, there is no governing body, and for different domains of forensics, it requires different academic qualification. But with all said and done, what matters is the expertise. Expertise is the thing which you have the ability to do the work. Let's see from this audience with the case studies. Okay, I'm stopping my theoretical understanding. Let's start with the case studies on the screen. Is my screen visible on the television also? TV over there? People who are sitting in the back, I suggest you take the help of the TV over there. For people who are sitting in the front, you can see on the screen. On the screen you can see two signatures. The question is, both the signatures are signed by the same person or not? Answer is no. Okay. I will give the right answer. On the screen you can see some document. Is the document genuine or fraudulent? How can anybody say this? Isn't it? Fine, let's go ahead. What you can see here is a microscopic observation about the document. Now you tell me, is this document genuine or fraudulent? For the reason? What does it indicate? Presence of different colors indicates what?
Different format of data.
It's the result of color printer. Correct? But tell me, what's your qualification? What's your qualification? Not completed yet. Correct? That means the ability to do the work has nothing to do with your qualification. You can, at this point in time, you have to start developing the skill of investigation. By the time you complete your 3 years, you get the certificate plus the skill of working on the case. Let's go with the next case. And you have a lot of cases on this. On the screen, do you suspect anything with this document? Anything which you suspect in this script? Telugu only. Anything suspicious? Now you find anything suspicious? What do you find suspicious? Look at the part here. This line is microscopically given here. The 60,000, 60 lakhs. Okay, this is given microscopic view here. After the document is being printed, another time the same sheet is used to print only one single line. It is a principle in the printing process that if the document is printed in the same go, all the content should have same alignment, same arrangement and same ink characteristics. Correct? So for this reason, if you observe the microscopic view of this, the printer characteristics is also different. The one which is printed the different content, the other one which is printed, you can see there are two different types of printers being used in addition to the printer misalignment in the previous slide. And to observe this, what qualification do you require? Keep thinking, keep thinking. Let's go with the next question. Do you suspect anything from this document? Nothing to suspect? Let's go with the microscopic view. What do you observe here? Yes, what do you observe here? Erasure? What category of erasure is this? A mechanical erasure? It looks like some content which was there has been removed. Correct? And the previous writings traces are here. You can see the red arrow marks, which was just here. Correct? It shows there is a mechanical erasure, but with the previous slide, this was a normal view. What you are seeing is this part of the microscopic image, the signature part here. This part's microscopic image is what is this. So anybody in this forum can say this is mechanically altered or mechanically erased. Correct? Yes. From this document? Nothing to suspect? What does the red arrow marks indicate here? Stains. Why does the document develop stains? This case is a case of artificial aging of the document. Document is actually new. It was prepared as a backdated document and they have done their groundwork. But this was dipped in a coffee decoction to make the document look old, and the stains are because of the coffee stains or the lemon juice. Lemon juice, when it is heated, might get this kind of stains. So document is, paper is new, document is dated as old document. This is an artificially aged document. Next. Which signature in this is forged? I don't want to discuss that. Now, because the answer is already given in this slide. This invoice, out of these two invoices, which is genuine, which is fraudulent? That is fraudulent. This is genuine. Okay. See, for few category of examination, probably I should answer this at last. I'll keep my suggestion to the last part. I'll just give you what is that it takes. Look at the difference between the question invoice and the standard invoice. On the left is the question, on the right is the standard invoice. This usually happens in insurance frauds, where you buy something on the Amazon or online portals and you get the automatic invoice on your email. And that will also have the insurance option to be bought. When you lose your mobile phone, when you get your mobile phone damaged, you can claim your insurance. When you claim your insurance, in this kind of case, they have produced a fake invoice itself. They have not bought the phone as per the claim. It's a fake invoice which they prepared. Now it looks like this. On the standard invoice, we can see the names are mentioned twice. But here, the shipping address, it's only mentioned as once. These kind of examinations, you won't have any kind of known sample. It's only that which you define as a standard sample, which you start with your examination, that's what defines. To do this, if I ask you what's your qualification, even if you are a certified digital examiner, this case, how do you solve if it is a genuine or a fraudulent one? Alright, let's go to the next case. Yes?
By using another standard document.
Go ahead, I could not hear you. Yes.
So can we know the printing characteristics?
If it is a regenerated document, you will not know about it. If it is a first copy of the printer, then there is a significance of printer examination. If that document is again photocopied, you get the photocopied machine's characteristics, not relevant for printer examination.
Yes, sir. So for determination of the standard ones, so if we know the printer characteristics, then we can look at the alignment, word space, etc. and all right, the baseline treatment.
These documents are never printed, it's a soft copy. You get it on the email. The moment you place an order on the Amazon, this PDF will come to your email. You will never print it.
Yes, sir. Then if we determine the type font or else the source printer, so if we know that from which printer does the suspect or the person has printed the invoice.
Friend, please understand, this is no case of printing. They will not use printer at all. But when your question is about the source which created the PDF, then the aspects are different. This kind of cases, they don't even print that invoice at all. It is a digitally manipulated document. But yes, it might have a significance of examination the digital file, metadata, other aspects. But even without that, the basic understanding about how the invoice is created will have a difference. Because if that is a standard invoice, by your address, your information is mentioned in a particular standard way. If this is a question invoice, addition to the characteristics of the digital file data, this is a prima facie evidence To show the computer file properties, you would require the screenshot, everything to be shown to the court. But to show as it is, this is the prima facie approach. Okay? Thank you. Alright. This case is a case of death note. How many of you think it is written by the same person? Even without giving you the reference of the person's handwriting sample, I am asking you if this writing sample belongs to the same person. Why? Why do you think so? And yes, this is the left hand. She was a right-handed person. Okay? Next. Yes. Is it her writing or not? That's the question. Did she write this or not? No, why? The only understanding in this case is that can a person write as straight as it is shown at the lower part of her forearm? Correct. On that basis, this was questioned. See, every aspect has different way of looking at it. You might be technically correct while you have to say writing samples like I'll just do the comparison, I'll give a detailed reporting. That's fine. But there is something called as prima facie reasons. The prima facie reasons may not be technical in nature. That's logical in nature. Not all the cases you have to approach technically. There are many cases, many situations which you have to approach logically. Anything suspicious in this document? It's a photocopy document, no doubt about it. The two stamp is, one is belonging to the, this is a court copy. The court has issued this document, that's why they have put a seal. That document is again photocopied, that's why you can see two seals in the same document. Nothing suspicious about that. Next. Next. Do you observe the content being squeezed here? Is it suspicious or is it fraudulent? You must understand, not all suspicious factors is also fraudulent. Being suspicious is different, and suspiciousness leading to conclusion as a fraudulent one is upon your examination. What we are trying to discuss here, the reasons which can rise suspiciousness. That can be proved as fraudulent later on. But here, what is suspicious? Apart from the script here, apart from the content here, what is very important here is this is the stamp paper. All the property papers, if you have seen the old stamp papers, you will understand there will be a seal issued by the state postal treasury, the government department which issues the stamp papers. That will be sold by the stamp vendor, the desired party. And the party prepares all this content, put a signature, everything. That is the transactional chronology. But the stamp paper vendor, he can sell the document whenever he wishes. 11th June 1974, he can sell the paper. It could be a New Year day, it could be a Christmas day, it could be a Saturday, Sunday, whatever. He can sell the paper whenever he wishes. He's a private party. But 9th June 1974 is a Sunday. The government department cannot sell the stamp paper on any Sunday. In this case, the question was if the signature here in Urdu being forged or not. That was the question asked by the client to me. Instead of giving a lengthy signature verification report, only thing which I did was find an RTI to the government of Karnataka, give me all the transactions which happened on Sundays in the past 50 years. They said no such transactions. There ends the case. Okay? And last case, but not the least, with this case I am concluding it. Prepare for it. This case, in fact, I checked with you, sir. Can I discuss non-veg 416 also? In 416 we have veg 416 and non-veg 416. Okay? Listen. Very important, interesting case. Listen. If this is a case given to you as a forensic examiner, and the question was that this girl claims that her photo is morphed. This girl claims the photo is morphed. And it came to you. What do you examine? What do you examine? This is multimedia forensics. Digital forensics has a subdivision called multimedia forensics where you examine audio, video, images. The image is genuine or not. Anybody can take anybody's photo, put anybody's photo there. You can see all these people with the Bin Laden and other people, isn't it? So you could see Bhikshu Yadav in the movie Sign. He has a photo with every person, right? As simple as that. And if this is given to you for the examination, what do you examine? The image of the girl, if this is cut and pasted to the body or not. Fine. This was the same thing which we also did it as a first option. My scientific officer comes back with a report saying that yes, this girl's photo is taken from some other photograph, but there is a mismatch in the graph at this part. In the neck part, there is an attachment. Does this conclude the case? Guys, please pay attention, it's a very interesting case. Okay, does this conclude the case now? No, because girl had to only prove this. Girl had to prove that this is not her photograph. Yes, we got the evidence, this is not her photograph. Does the case end here? What's the next question? I asked my scientific staff to examine if this guy's photo is also morphed or not. And they came to me with a report saying that guy's photo is not morphed. What I did? I called the respective jurisdictional police officer I mentioned. There is a lady who is coming to your station. She is going to lodge a police complaint. Please act on this case immediately. For the reason, this girl is safe now. There is another girl who is in trouble. Which girl is in trouble? To whom the body belongs to. The guy's photo is not morphed, but the girl's photo is morphed. Girl is safe now. Who is in trouble actually? Another girl. And when the police investigated this case, they seized the laptop and 2 mobile phones from this accused. They happened to realize he had targeted 4 such girls like this. And 1 girl came to us for their verification, but other 3 were totally compromised. One girl gave 10 lakhs for him, and 2 others are actually doing what he asked them to do at whichever time he asked them to do. So this is the level of investigation which needs to be done. If I ask you, what is the qualification required for this? What is your answer? What is your answer? With this question, I only want to answer one thing. Apart from educational qualification, apart from your gained experience, the biggest qualification for a forensic expert is basically your common sense. If you don't have the common sense and the life skills, when you don't know how any transaction is supposed to be done, the Amazon invoice which I showed you right now, if you don't know how a standard Amazon invoice looks like, how do you do the examination? If you don't know how the document is to be transacted, no document can be transacted on a Sunday. When was the first rubber stamp used? When was the first mobile phone number used? When was the PIN code used? If this information is not known to a forensic expert, you might have qualification, you might show some reports to say that I have been practicing, but with the lack of your common sense, you can survive for a few days, but your competency matters only on your common sense. Participants, with this I conclude my session. So thank you very much, and you have been a wonderful audience so far. I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Phaneendar sir, for bordering your vision on forensics. Now, the
opportunity to clarify your queries directly from the server.